Hello, Haze Destruction here. This video is going to cover a few topics that I would like to go over. I noticed YouTube is starting to go back to Battlefield 1. A lot of YouTubers these days, now I've noticed, especially my favourite ones, are making videos on Battlefield 1. Seems like everyone's sick of Battlefield 5 already and remembers the good old days of Battlefield 1. This is, in my opinion, why Battlefield 5 is no longer tailoring to people anymore, and people don't want to play it anymore. Battlefield 5's attrition system gets annoying and it's always in the way. It's just tiring running from resupply stations. It's stupid. No one likes it anymore. I don't like it. It's just annoying that I have to keep running there and be consciously aware of it all the time. The animations that are physical in the game, when you do certain things like grabbing a medic pouch or climbing the tanks, that's got me killed countless times, because the delay for me to get out the vehicle gives an enemy a chance to shoot me and kill me instantly, which means you have to time it perfectly and you can't see all around you in the tank when you're in a certain seat, which is a problem in my opinion. Another thing is the current meta of the game is to lay on the ground with LMGs and MMGs in dark corners with dark camos so people can't see you and just wait for people to run by and mow them down. In my opinion, this is the worst thing that ever comes to Battlefield. It was kind of like this in Battlefield 1 in the previous games, only a little bit, but now it's beyond recognition. This game, it doesn't even feel like Battlefield anymore. It lacks the skill required for you to run and gun and just enjoy yourself. Now it's just LMGs and MMGs everywhere, and I'm sick of it. It's tiring. Another thing is the lack of maps. I'm getting tired of the same map rotations every time. And 3 of the maps I hate on that game. I hate Armada. I can't stand that map. And I love Devastation, I'll give it that. Devastation is good, but Armada or Panzerstorm, I can't stand them maps. There's another one I can't really put my finger on it right now, but yeah. The teams are always unbalanced. Like, there's always one team severely dominating the other. It's like they like balancing system doesn't even work. I don't like that. Like, other games in the past, they've done it well, and now it's not there, it's non-existent, and I don't like it. The weapons are really boring. Like, some of them are quite good. The newer ones they add, they're creative, I'll give them that. But a lot of the weapons are boring. It's just, there's not enough weapons either. It just feels like I've a limited amount of choices I have with these weapons, and also specializations. They don't really do that much of a difference. Yes, I would say they do a minor difference, or maybe even further, depending on what side of the tree you go. But in my opinion, it's not great. It doesn't feel like the weapon's significantly better. It just feels like you can hardly feel it. It is there, but you can hardly feel it. There's no custom games, but it's been announced now by DICE that they're going to have a rental service program again, and it's going to be free apparently, so we won't even have to pay for it. But I assume that you're going to have to pay for it if you want to keep it up for like 24/7 service. I assume that's probably what they're going to try and do. So I hope that goes well. And they said they're going to do new dev talks and all that stuff. So hopefully this goes well and we all get what we all want, really. We all want to create our own custom games like the Battlefield 2 days. Seems like it's going to be similar to that system. We can just download, well, I don't think you can actually download the client. We don't even know how it's going to go yet. So let's hope they do it properly and just not make it half-ass bloody tack-on system to the bloody game, which just ruins everything. Now I'm going to tell you why I think Battlefield 1 is so good in 2019. I've been playing it a lot lately, and I've come to realize that I'm having a lot more fun with it. And I don't know why, it just feels like a polished game. It's polished to perfection. I feel like the netcode is good. Everything else is good there. It's like the hit registration is good. Not on all servers, sometimes it's pretty bad, but that's subjective, because on most servers in Battlefield, you can't always expect the best ping and all that from all the players and stuff like that. The Battlefield 1 also has fantastic maps, great maps. I always love the maps for Battlefield 1, in my opinion, one of the best in the franchise, I would say, for maps. Next to Battlefield 4, I would say as well. The maps are great. There's so many maps that I've used in the past on Battlefield 1 and I love them. The flanking routes are brilliant. There's not too many choke points where you're forced into like these big groups of battles where it's just like peeking for a kill, you know what I'm saying? You have to just wait for people to peek or run around corners. To me, that's terrible. I don't like being forced into choke points. I want to be able to flank think ahead of my teammates and ahead of the enemy, so I can actually go around them and get crazy kill streaks. We all know what I mean by that. Like, you guys have done it, so I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. The weapons feel great in Battlefield 1 as well. Yeah, it's not so customizable as like in Battlefield 5 or Battlefield 4, 3 or whatever games before that. It's variations, but in my opinion, it's different enough to feel like a different weapon. I've noticed this many times. I think to myself, okay, should I unlock the optical version of it, or should I just keep the factory version? And sometimes, when you unlock the second or third variation of that weapon, it feels different completely. It even sometimes have a greater ammo count or vice versa, which is great in my opinion. I like that. The flanks are so rewarding in Battlefield 1. You could just rack up kills, kill after kill after kill, and I bloody love it. It's great. It's why I like this game so much. It's because the flanks are there, you can flank, and it's always enjoyable. Of course, you're going to get killed by the random tank on the hill somewhere, but that just happens. Honestly, the DLC is worth it in my opinion. It truly is worth it. There are a few crappy maps, but like anything, it's always going to be something that's not that great. There's always going to be one or two things that's not as popular as the rest. But I would say removing premium was a mistake. Don't get me wrong. I'm not here to say basically I agree with the player base being split. I hate that. In my opinion, premium is a better solution because at least we know we're getting quality maps because we paid for this. There's kind of like this is what I believe in DICE. When you pay for premium, there's kind of like strain put on them to know they have to deliver. It has to be quality. It has to be what we've paid for. Now in Battlefield 5, that doesn't exist. They can take the time. They don't have to do it as well as what they do is when you pay for premium, because you aren't entitled to anything because you haven't paid for anything. You see what I'm coming at here. The overall atmosphere in Battlefield 1 is great. It feels like I'm in a war. It feels so satisfying. Explosions going off, your teammates running off, falling on the ground, getting revived next to you. You run and shoot. You take out multiple opponents. Bombs flying from the sky. Yeah, Battlefield has this as well, but it's watered down. It's so watered down, and I hate it. It's boring. I don't understand why they removed this atmospheric feel of Battlefield completely out the game. Even Battlefield 4 had it. It just felt like you were in this massive conflict with your teammates against the enemy, and it felt great. I loved it. It was so rewarding. And I can't understand why DICE have stripped it. It's like they've stripped everything from Battlefield 5 that made Battlefield games good in the past. To me, I can't fathom that. I just don't understand it. Is it because they're trying to push their luck with the live service to see how far they can push the envelope and see how much they can rip us off before we start complaining? Because at this point you can see everyone's kind of getting sick of the crap. They're taking too long with the content. They're giving us like certain weapons sometimes in the week. It's not good enough. I'm sorry, it's not good enough. The game costs what, I'm gonna say £55 I would say in the UK. Yeah, I got the deluxe edition because I've got Origin Premier. Because I'm not stupid and I'm not gonna go buy the game, especially when I knew for a fact all the controversy that came along with it and all the bugs and glitches and stuff that was in the game, which still to this day, half of them haven't even been addressed. They just keep telling us it will be fixed soon, fix coming soon. Never gives us a date or anything. It's just we kind of have to just wait and hope that they fix it soon. And then we sit there with frustration all day. And this is what I'm saying. This is why people are leaving, because they get frustrated because it's out of their control. When things kill you, that's out of your control. That's not a good game. That's unenjoyable. Where's the fun in that? I don't see the fun in that. So I don't blame people for leaving. Battlefield 1 is a better option for most people because it's fun. It's a little bit more arcadey, I would say. It feels like, I watched this YouTuber and he said it feels like an arena shooter. I disagree with that. I wouldn't say it feels like an arena shooter. I just think the reason why people think it's a little bit more arcadey is because there's just so much enemies to kill constantly. You're constantly put in fight after fight after fight, and it takes like I'm hardly ever out of combat. But in Battlefield 5, I'm always looking for people, and then I run past people laid on the ground which you can't even see unless you turn your brightness to 100 and all your graphics on low. You know what I'm saying? Which is ridiculous. I have to literally water down my own experience in order to play the game as intended, which is unacceptable. I'm sorry. They said they're doing a new visibility fix. They've said this in the past. They did a visibility fix. It did nothing, and now again they're telling us they're doing a visibility fix. We'll see what happens there. I doubt it's going to work properly. It looks great, but it's dicey. How many times have they not promised they can do this, they can do that, and they've not delivered? It's becoming more than a habit, and I'm sick of it now, to be honest. Another thing I would like to talk about. Battlefield 1 has its pros and cons. And Battlefield 1 to me has always been, how can I put this? A game that I can play for several hours and not get bored. I could play it all day and I could not get bored. I could just be invested into the game all day and just get lost and immersed completely in it. But there are things I don't like about Battlefield 1, and I'll tell you what it is. The random deaths, like planes dropping bombs on you, and you don't even see it in time, because you can't always predict it. You can't always predict that the bombs are going to come and they're going to kill you. So it's not great when that happens, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes you spawn in front of your teammate and someone's shooting at him, but he's not quite dead yet. So you'll spawn, he'll kill your teammate, and then he'll kill you instantly. They said they fixed this in the past, but in my experience, yes, it's less often, but it still happens quite a bit. I've multiple times spawned right in front of vehicles and shot instantly, or spawned, ran into the building right next to me, and there's like 4 or 5 guys there. And that needs to be stopped. They need to have a system where it can pick up enemies in the vicinity, and if, let's say 20 meters from that teammate, you shouldn't be able to spawn. You shouldn't be able to spawn at all. You should spawn from either your deployment or a captured flag, or if you're playing Rush, MCOM station. You know what I'm saying? If it's not obviously under attack or bombs being planted or whatever. Another thing I hate about Battlefield 1 is the camping of the tanks on the hills. We all know them. They sit there the entire game long there with a sniper behind them, just pinging people off. It's like, these tank snipers, I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Why would you use a tank just to kill people? Like, I get it, you get a high kill score. You know what I'm saying? You go tell your friend, look at me, I'm so great at Battlefield. I camped on one spot the entire game and killed so many people. To me, that's pathetic. Like, why do people do that? I don't get it. Like, it's not fun. I've done it myself. I get bored. After like 3-4 minutes, I get bored. Then I want to go in the action and just take tanks out, shoot tanks. Don't get me wrong, if you're on a tank, you're driving past people, constantly shooting people that are running past you. Yeah, that's great. That's fine. At least you're not being a little chicken, you know what I'm saying? Sitting up on a hill hoping you're going to hit people from a distance. I hate that. I absolutely hate it, because it's... What can you do? If you just say you're a medic, a support, sniper... the only thing I can think of is in the Assault class, I could maybe shoot a AT rocket at him. But even then, you have to shoot him 3 or 4 times before you even destroy him, depending what tank they're using. Which makes it a little bit frustrating if you're any other class, because you pretty much just have to hide around a wall or something. Even then, it's not really good enough, because you can just ping you. And the problem is with people in tanks as well on the hills, they can just spot for days. They can just spot people over and over again. They can see everyone without ever being at risk. They can just spot people constantly. This has always been a problem with Battlefield 1. I still see it today. It's pretty bad, but I'm pretty good at getting rid of them now, because all I do is I sneak up and behind them and blow the bastards up with some dynamite, or put some anti-tank mines behind them. You know what I'm saying? Throw a anti-tank grenade right in front of him, run into the front of the tank, throw it in front of him, so he backs up, and then he drives over and kills himself like a noob. And that always happens, and that's how you know the shit, because only a noob would go backwards. I would go forwards. You know what I'm saying? But you could even obviously you can counter that. You could put 2 at the back and 1 in the front, so it counters that. So either way, you're screwed. Yeah. Another thing Battlefield 1 also has that I don't really like is the random bullet deviation. It isn't great. I've noticed a lot when I play Battlefield 5 and I come back to this. I notice a lot. It feels like the bullets just sometimes bounce everywhere. It's like even 3 or 3rd or 5th bullet it just goes somewhere else. It's crazy. I don't understand why they added that mechanic. I guess they're supposed to kind of like feel like World War One weapons, where if you shoot somebody, a bullet might miss, a bullet might fly the wrong way, because the guns aren't exactly built for accuracy, apart from like the bolt action rifles, which makes sense. Another thing about the random bullet deviation, in Battlefield 5, when they removed it, I liked it. I thought, oh yes, this bullet's actually going where I'm aiming. But at the same time, the recoil for the weapons, some of the recoil for the weapons, it's like I have to be consciously aware of fighting recoil constantly, especially from medium to long range with assault rifles and medic. Well, the medic weapons are quite accurate, but I would say the assault rifles in Battlefield 5 require some sort of skill to master when you want to fight the recoil as well as be accurate. Another thing I don't like about Battlefield 1 is the behemoths. They're huge. We know what they are. The big trains, the blimps. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's overpowered. I won't say the trains that are overpowered, but the behemoth, the blimp, like on Ballroom Blitz and stuff. It's absolutely insane. Especially them ones with looks like big massive explosive rounds. You guys know what I mean. They just absolutely demolish players. That is, you can't counter that. I have a few times I've just turned around, aimed with a sniper and shot the guy out of it. Shot him square in the head, but that doesn't matter because the next guy can just spawn in and do the same thing over again, or he could spawn in again if the seat's not been taken. Which, I guess, some people might enjoy that kind of gameplay, but once again that's subjective. It all depends on what kind of gamer you are. Alright, I would say that's pretty much it, to be honest. I have way more fun in Battlefield 1. It just feels like DICE has lost their way, and it shows in Battlefield 5. It catered for casuals for way too long, and the games as a service business model is failing. This is why EA is now scrambling around, trying to figure out what they're going to do, how they're going to approach things. Now, EA is now reapproaching their studios, and how they're going to release games. It's just, it also seems like, I've noticed this as well, that something on YouTube regarding loot boxes in other countries. Like, it seems like the government is finally looking at it, and it's finally starting to go somewhere. So I think this is why EA suddenly is going with this, we are reapproaching everything, and we're going to see how it works. And because they said games as a service is hard, it's a hard thing in industry to master. That's the thing is, stop trying to nickel and dime your players. Make a good game, and the money will come. The money will come. I've never understood this mentality from these game developers. It is basic common sense. You make something good, people talk about it, people tell their friends, people tell their neighbors or whatever, they post it online, and it becomes great. People will actually promote your game for you. You'll need some sort of advertisement, but not really. Word of mouth is powerful, man. It's powerful. No one I know talks about Battlefield 5. Bloody hell, no one I know even plays that game, and it's that bad. It's like, I have random friends I play online with when I play Battlefield, but I'm more of a solo player because I prefer being immersing myself into the game. Yes, it's obviously fun with more play with your friends and stuff like that. It can be if you like if you all have comms and you like communicate with each other. Now that can be great. I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty fun sometimes. I enjoy that. And I'm gonna tell you another thing as well about Battlefield 5. It's a shame that it had to fail this badly. It's a flop, in my opinion. It's a flop. It's not a terrible game. It's just not Battlefield anymore. It's just not Battlefield. It's like, I don't understand it, and I can't defend it anymore. The game's buggy, in some cases even broken. It's broken, like with the damage values. Sometimes you'll shoot people and the damage values will show incorrect values, and it's like, what? Are you kidding me? How can you mess up something so basic? Something that you literally see constantly in the game. There was no, from my experience so far, like today, I played the game today, I haven't seen a hot fix for this. I haven't seen it's been fixed or addressed or anything. I could be wrong. It might have been addressed and I just haven't realized it, or I'm aware of it. But I can't defend this game anymore. The lack of innovation. It just feels like they tried some things and I don't understand what they were thinking. They tried to fix things that weren't broken. I didn't want physical animations. Like, it gets you killed, it gets in the way. Who wants that? That's not, to my opinion, that's not innovations. That's just adding animations to things that didn't have animations before. Yes, it might be more cinematic, but it's Battlefield. It's not a single player game. It doesn't need to be cinematic. Obviously, apart from the intros for the operations, I like that when they talk about the battle and all that stuff. That's great. I've always liked that. And Battlefield 1 brought that, and I'm happy. But Battlefield 1 does it way better. Because it shows different locations and all that stuff, and it tells you a little bit of backstory from individual people, what they think and how they feel about the upcoming battle, which is pretty good. It makes it personal. It makes it feel good. I like that. But these days, when I play Battlefield 5, it just feels like a watered down Battlefield 1. That's why when I saw it the first time, I thought, this looks a lot like Battlefield 1. It really does. And then things slowly change to like kind of make it its own and not look so similar to Battlefield 1. I don't really like the fact that they copied so many things from Battlefield 1. Even some of the houses look the same. Like even the textures, and I'm like, what? Innovate. Push your innovation to max. Try your hardest to make something new. Change it up. The attrition system needs to go. The animations needs to go. I'm a competitive player, and this is not what I want. I do not want these stupid little things in the game that stops me from having fun. I don't want it anymore. That's why I'm going back to Battlefield 1. Honestly, Battlefield 1 has been giving me so much more entertainment this past 2 weeks. I would say I've been playing it a lot more. It just feels nice. The sniping's satisfying. Yeah, the sweet spot mechanics are a little bit OP. I'll definitely say that. I do enjoy sniping in Battlefield 5, but it feels so different. It's like it doesn't even feel like it's the same game anymore. The sniping just feels absolutely weird. I'm gonna be honest. It feels so weird, and I don't understand why they made such a change. But at the same time, I like the skill where you have to shoot for the head. I do that anyway in Battlefield 1. On all the other Battlefields, I've always done that. I've always just aimed for the head, because I find that to be a better way to learn how to snipe, because then you're kind of constantly conscious of aiming for people's head and not worrying about body shots or having a follow-up shot. Because of like Battlefield 4, I love that. Like you can get crazy shots in Battlefield 4 if you had the right sniper, which is pretty cool. I've always loved that. Well guys, I'm sorry about this ranting on and on about this, but I just feel like Battlefield 5 has let me down, and it's let a lot of people down. And I don't think this new Mercury map is going to make any difference. One map in like 6 months. Come on, bro. What is this? What is this? You're telling me there's no way people are going to invest into this game with one map coming, and then we've got another map coming, which is like an urban map of some sort, which we know nothing about, which is a bit disappointing in my opinion. But oh well. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'm really sorry if you disagree with me on any of these things I've talked about today. But I'm just a Battlefield veteran with my opinions, and I hope DICE, fix their game. Haste Destruction out. Have a good day.